Testing, testing. Let's see if this works. Hi, man. I'm just waiting for some more people to log on to the stream till I start my lesson. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And just let me know if the sound is okay. I don't know how my voice is compared to my guitar. Just let me know what you think. If it sounds okay or if it sounds like crap. And just so you know, there's a massive delay from when I actually do stuff until it turns up on your screen. So when you're writing to me, it may appear that I'm taking a really long time to respond, but it's really just the delay causing it. Yeah, it is a beautiful guitar. It's an Ibanez RG 550 limited edition from 1993, and it's got a all access neck joint. Doesn't have the big old heel, so it plays really well. It's like the best guitar I've ever had. It's it's simply incredible. So yeah, we're just waiting for some more people to turn up. Um, Last night I had like 10 people watching at the same time. So we'll see if anyone turns up for tonight's guitar lesson. And I'm just watching my own stream on my laptop here. And that's where I'm able to comment and stuff. Well, seems like we're getting some more viewers. As I said earlier, I'm just waiting for some people to turn up before I start the lesson, so that as many people as possible can actually, yeah, get what I'm talking about. And if you guys have any questions right now is the time to ask, because now I have lots of time to respond to your questions. Can you play some gent? Well, sure. I'm not that much of a gent guy, but let's see. Just gonna find a 7-string, a gent on a 6-string. Need at least 10 strings. It'll be really gent, you know. But I just have a 7-string. And it's just tuned to standard B. So I guess in some people's minds that's not really gent as well. But hey, I made some gent drifts a while ago. But hey, it's so that's how I that's how I play gent. Jeez, my guitar looks nasty. Let me clean that up. Always have a rag for your guitars. That's important. Let's see. I guess if we reach 10 people in a reasonable amount of time, I'll start the lesson. But if not, I'll just start the lesson anyways in a few minutes. So if you're watching right now, just hang in, just check your Facebook, whatever you do to make the time go by. While I'm making some hip hop sounds while cleaning my truck. Yeah, that looks not a lot better, but hey, whatever. At least no, it's not. Hopefully, able to start the lesson soon. And going to be talking about picking techniques for rhythm guitar today. But it's possible to use these techniques for any types of guitar playing as well. It's something really important that not a lot of people know about. And some people know this, some people don't. Yeah, hopefully people will learn something from this. Just gonna modify the description for the video real quick. Let me see. Selecting the video when people are watching. Some stars. Oh, turns out I can't change the description while while my video is streaming. Well, we got 6 viewers. W2HHST, I really like the Uprising song. Yeah, thank you. I'm quite happy with that song as well. It turned out pretty good. I almost don't remember how to play it. I make so much music these days. Just I forget most of my music after I've uploaded it to YouTube. So yeah, I hope you guys like the original music I'm putting up, not just backing tracks all the time. Gets kind of monotonous to just make backing tracks all of the time. But hey, something's gotta bring in the money as well. Let's give it like 1 more minute, and we don't have more viewers, so I'll just start the whole lesson anyways. And people can always watch this after it's been uploaded to YouTube. And yeah, if any of you guys viewing this are just logged on, if you want to ask me any questions, do it now. I can answer everything. Of course, just gonna change back to my 6-string for the lesson. Don't need my 7-string now. Let's see, flashy guitar. We're just gonna start the lesson right now, and while I'm talking, feel free to write in the comments if you have any questions about what I'm doing, and hopefully you'll learn something from this lesson. Let's see. This is gonna be about picking technique, and something that a lot of people are doing wrong when they're picking, and it usually only goes for metal guitarists who are not familiar with playing basic strumming patterns on an acoustic guitar. So I wanna make this connection between the really basic stuff that you might want to learn when you're starting to play guitar, and some of the more complex stuff that you're going to play later on. And yeah, we're basically going to look at how to most efficiently use your picking hand when you're playing stuff like this. Those kind of chugging patterns that It might sound easy enough, but there is one correct and one wrong way to do this, and it can be applied to lots of other kinds of music and riffs as well. Um, what it's all about is the motion of the picking hand, and we'll start with the really basic stuff. I just switch over to a beautiful clean tone here. Let's go over what you're going to do if you're going to learn how to play some basic strumming patterns. Let's say we're going to play E minor, G, and C, and A minor. And we're going to do something like this. And the rhythm that I'm doing with my my picking hand is kind of essential to make that sound good. If you're going to play a strumming pattern that goes like this, or even something like this, it's really important that you keep your hand moving at the same speed all of the time. Because if you don't, you might end up playing like this. And it gets really confusing, and you don't really get any kind of flow to your music. And you can see what's happening. When I'm doing this the correct way, my hand is always following kind of the beat of the music. If I'm playing something that goes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm always picking or moving my picking hand in like a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I'm just varying when I'm actually hitting the strings. My hand never stops, even though there might be a slight pause in kind of the music. So if the strumming pattern is this, if it's like 1, 3, no, wait, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see that even though I'm not playing on the second beat, I'm still moving my hand, and that's because I want to keep in time, you know. I don't want to lose the beat, because if I did that, it would be a lot harder to keep up the keep the beat flowing. Like if you still play that kind of dead note, or it's not a dead note, but whatever. You're kind of keeping the beat yourself. You're being your own metronome, and I guess that's what it's all about. And yeah, if you guys want to check out basic strumming tutorials on YouTube, there's lots of them, and I'm not gonna go that much in depth on that right now because it's extremely basic, and if you're just learning that, you won't really have that much to learn from what I'm about to go into now. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at what I just played in the beginning of this video, which is, let's say you have a riff that goes like this. Did you hear the similarity from what I just played? Because, you know, I just played. And this. So, what's the connection between those two things? It is that the same principle applies for both techniques. When you're playing, when you're just, you know, strumming acoustically, you're going to think the same way as when you're playing this kind of difficult chugging riff, depending on how your skill level is. Of course, this applies to much more difficult patterns and riffs as well, but we're going to keep it kind of simple just to prove the point here. So when I'm playing this kind of riff, you can see that my hand is still going in the same speed, and it's still following kind of the rules for when you're actually down picking and up picking. Um, so if you can see, I'm playing. I'm playing down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. Just like when drumming, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. And here comes what a lot of people, especially us metal guitarists, tend to do wrong when doing this kind of stuff, and that's when we're doing this down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. And you might think that, well, okay, it's not that big of a deal, and to be honest, no. On this kind of a riff, it's not really that much of a deal. Um, it doesn't really sound that much different. But as long as I mean, when you're getting into some slightly more complicated riffs, it suddenly becomes all that much more important. Let me just think of a new rhythm, like if you have this one. On this, you can see that I'm still following the same rules. I'm going. So when I'm playing this at full speed, it might look like I'm just doing this. And that's exactly what my picking hand is doing. So I guess that's why a few people have called me a fake when I've been making some videos, because it certainly looks like I'm just messing around. It looks like I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just playing like this, and somehow it sounds like. And there's the whole secret for it. There's everything you need to know about guitar pick movement, picking hand, rhythm, movement when you're playing this kind of stuff. It's really important that you keep up this principle when you're playing. And I guess what it all boils down to is that you have to make sure that on the downbeat of the music you're playing a downbeat with the pick, and on the upbeat of the music you're playing an upbeat. And there is another kind of riff that kind of tricks people into doing this the wrong way, and that's what's wrong. Like, yeah, that was not really a good example. And it's kind of hard to make those riffs up because it's not that easy to actually play them. But if you were able to see what I was doing there, is that I was actually doing this whole pull-off hammer-on thing at the beginning, and then I was just chugging away. And if you look at my picking hand, I'm going down pick, and I'm continuing on an up pick. And what a lot of guys are doing wrong there is that they're doing this. They're going, and then they're starting on a down pick. And what you might hear there is that they're getting the up and down beat in the wrong order, which means that instead of the picking being like, it suddenly turns into. So instead of being, like hard, soft, hard, soft, hard, soft, hard, soft, it turns into soft, hard, soft, hard, soft, hard, soft, hard, and that messes up the whole flow of the music. And And the way to find out if in this kind of example, if you do like this and you're wondering, oh, should I start the next part of the riff with an up or down beat? The way you find out is that you just play every note instead of using hammer-ons and pull-offs, and play them with strict alternate picking. So you're gonna go like, instead of doing hammer-on a pull-off on a hammer-on, you're just gonna play down, and then you actually know that in order to continue, you have to continue with an upstroke. So it turns into and that's yeah, that's a quick introduction on how to do that kind of picking. And once you know about this, I'm gonna get to your question in a minute. Once you know about this, you're gonna notice it with a lot of guitar players. I'm not saying that it's wrong to sometimes start a riff on an upstroke, just to kind of get used to playing with the exception of the rule. But it's really important to learn this kind of way of thinking when you're picking. It's gonna improve your efficiency and the way you're relaxing while you're playing, and yeah, it's gonna help you a lot in your playing. Let's see. First question first. A Norway or 97? Well, fellow Norwegian. It's asking if I know how to sweep pick, and yes, I do. I used to be kind of a sweep picking nut. A few years ago, I was practicing a lot of necrophagists, and that's what actually got me into sweep picking. And I spent like a couple of years sweeping like a madman. And I'm not really that much into sweep picking anymore, because it is extremely cool to learn and it's extremely cool to do, but then you get really tired of it. But so my sweeping is not what it was a few years ago, but I still, of course, know the principles behind it. And well, I see we're getting lots of questions. That's really good. I'm gonna get to you all in a moment. Just hang in. I'm just gonna finish covering sweep picking first. So what you want to do if you want to learn sweep picking, it's kind of a huge subject. It's not something that you learn overnight. There is a reason why even well-established guitarists absolutely suck at sweep picking, and I must admit I'm not the best myself, especially not when playing live. But when playing live, nobody hears what you're playing anyways. What you want to do is you want to practice with 3-string sweeps first. You have to get good at 3-string sweeps before you should move on to 5 strings. So what I did in order to learn sweep picking was I did this one. I did this all the time. I did it for hours and hours and hours, for weeks, before I got kind of comfortable with doing it. So, and now I really suck at it again, but you know, it's once you master it, sweeping becomes something a lot easier. But and I like to say that next to tapping, it's the technique that's easiest to impress all the girls with, compared to how difficult it actually is to do it. But what you want to keep in mind when sweep picking is you want to keep the nice steady flow of your pick. What a lot of my students in the past have done wrong when learning how to sweep is that they've been kind of playing every note as a separate note. They're usually really good at dragging the pick back, but when they're going down, they're always kind of jumping through the notes, and that's not going to help, because you're never going to get the whole speed advantage of sweeping when you're doing it that way. So you have to kind of just you have to angle your pick slightly, so it's not just parallel to the strings. You have to angle it a bit down if you want to, but at least don't make it hit like yeah, straight on the string like that. You have to angle it. So if my finger is the string here, you have to angle it so that it kind of flows over the string. And when you're going up, you have to angle it back again. And then just push it through. And while you're pushing through, you have to make sure that you're only pushing in one finger at a time. If you're just keeping all the fingers in, you're just playing a chord. And so you have to make sure that you're playing one note at a time, and that you're kind of following with your, let me see, with your hand, muting the strings as you go along. So I'm keeping this palm of my hand on the strings when I go down, and moving it up when I go back. So that way I'm making sure that there's the least amount of noise possible when I'm sweeping. So yeah, do what I said. Just practice some simple 3-string sweeps. The one that I'm doing here starts on the 14th fret of the G string, goes to the 13th on the B string, and the 12th on the E string, and ends with a pull-off on the 17th string. And then I'm just going back down with the same notes. So 14, 13, 12, and then a pull-off, down on 13, and 14 again. So that was the quickest sweeping lesson ever. Let me know if you have any more questions about that, and I'll try to answer them. Let's see. Next question. Hello, you're from Brazil, and yeah, asked me if I could do a quick solo for the crowd of Brazil. Let me turn on some delay so you can't hear all my mistakes. And maybe some, oh, wait a minute. Just gonna change the sound. Brazil. Let's see. Since you're covering picking, have you mentioned galloping at all? No, I have not mentioned galloping. Galloping is a fun thing. Back in the Iron Maiden stuff then. And yeah, if you have any specific questions about galloping, you need to ask me, because I can always go through how to kind of be able to play the different kinds of galloping, because you know you have all these kinds of like, groups of 2, 3, and 4, and all that stuff. If you want to practice those things and you're not familiar with galloping at all, it might seem kind of hard to know when you're actually going to play groups of 2 or 3 notes, and when you're trying to play 3 notes, you end up playing 4 notes, and so on. So I think we're going to cover 3 and 4 note groupings, and let's do 4 notes first, because that's definitely the easiest. What you're going to do is you're going to practice it really slowly with a power chord like the E minor, I just mean the E power chord, 0 and 2. It's everyone's favorite chord. And you're just going to do it really slow first, like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's really the whole essence of learning anything on guitar. You have to do it slowly first. Because if you do it quickly at the beginning, you're never going to be able to increase the speed without getting sloppy and making it sound really bad. So you have to master doing it slowly. And then comes kind of the way to know how to stop your hand, because a lot of guys manage to play this slowly. They manage to be like, no, I mean like, I'm kind of tired. That's why I'm playing so much wrong right now. And that speed usually goes fine, but when people increase the speed, like they all of a sudden they start doing, and they start losing control. And what you need to know then is just basically that when you're playing a group of 4 notes, your pick should always end in the up position. So you should always go 1, 2, 3, 4, and emphasize that you're ending in the up position. So you're going up, and that's how you're going to teach your fingers when to actually stop the picking motions, so you don't start doing it. Because if you end up in a downward position, you've either played 3 or 5 notes. But if you end in an upwards position, ready to do another downstroke, you have most likely played 4 notes. Down, up, down, up. Just like that. And that's how we're going to do it. Of course, then if you're aiming to play groups of 3 notes, you're going to want to stop your picking with a down stroke. So you're going to go down, down. You know, just like that. So yeah, just don't hesitate to ask me if you have any more questions about that. Guitar Cons Fool is wondering how long I usually train a day. Right now I'm a student, and that's not at the guitar school. That's something completely different, and so that's the reason why I actually don't have time to practice every day, and that's that really sucks. I would love to be able to practice more, but when you have that many other things to do, it simply takes away your energy, and it's harder to practice as much as you really should. But let me rephrase that question for you. Let's ask how long should you actually train a day on guitar? And then I would like to stress that it's not how long you play for a day that matters, it's how effective you are, and how kind of focused on your goals you are. Because if you just pick up your guitar and do what you do every day and just play 4 chords and not really, if you don't really try to get better, you will never get better. But if you if you have some goals and you're practicing towards those goals, and you only have time to play like a half an hour a couple of days a week, then you will get better. There's no question about that. Playing in a focused, good way half an hour a couple of times a week is a lot better than playing like shit uh, and half an hour or 2 hours every day. Um, so it's really about being effective when you're actually playing guitar. And I'm not saying that I'm super effective when I play guitar all the time, but um, I try to be kind of constructive when I'm playing. And right now I spend most of my guitar playing time simply writing music and writing backing tracks. Just gonna open my window. Getting hot. And so when I started playing guitar, I think I played anywhere from 1 to 3 hours every day. That was when I was 15. So that's almost 8 years ago now. And I did that for probably like 4 years, several hours a day. And yeah, it's definitely it's a lot of fun when you're noticing that you're getting better playing. And yeah, that's really that's what you should be aiming for. It makes guitar playing so much more fun. But I would say the best way to get better at playing is to get a band and get some context to your playing. Make sure that you're actually playing to get better. It's something like you want to play that awesome solo and that awesome song, or you want to be able to write this or able to do that. That's a lot better than just not knowing what you want to do and just trying to get better. Let's see. I know where you're asking if I've been in Arendal. Yeah, I played a gig with my band in 2012 in Arendal with Shadow Mind. That's the only time I've been to Arendal. Alright, guys. Just feel free to ask me more questions if you have any more questions about guitar playing. I'm gonna be here for a little longer, and it doesn't really have to be about picking. It could be about anything. I can always cover one subject that always comes up, which is how do you hold the pick and how do you shape your picking hand. Um, there's a lot of different ways to hold the guitar pick. Some people will say that there's not one way that is the best. I would say that there is one way that is the best. There is absolutely no question about it. Even though lots of good guitarists are doing other things, holding the pick like this, take your finger like you're just holding a gun or whatever. Just curl your index finger, put your pick on top, and then your thumb on top there. You should have it like this, and there should not be a lot of pick sticking out, just a little bit. And just holding it with 2 fingers is really the most important thing, because then you have 3 fingers ready to do other things. And 99% of the time, these fingers are going to be muting. When you're playing stuff and you don't want any noise from your lower strings or higher strings, depending on how you look at it, you can use your fingers to mute that. And also, it's extremely effective for tapping. Now you have 3 fingers to tap with. If you only do it like this, hold the pick with 3 fingers, you only have 2 really bad fingers to tap with. So hold the pick like this, and there's also some debate on how to hold the rest of the fingers. Should you hold them straight out like that, or curl your hand in, or whatever? If you watch my videos, you can see me doing both. Sometimes I like to keep my fingers out, or sometimes I like to pull them in. And from a pure physics standpoint, keeping your fingers out will increase the tension on your arm. You will have to use more force to propel your arm around, and it will be slower. But in my opinion, it feels good to be able to vary the position of the fingers. I don't recommend closing your fist up entirely. If you're gonna put your fingers in, I would like to do it like this. Perhaps not in a total fist, but yeah, kind of something in the middle. But there is nothing wrong with keeping your fingers out like that. If you're comfortable with that, you should do it. Just there's yeah, you'll have to find out what works for yourself. And the last thing is always angle your pick. That means if my hand is guitar pick, I don't want it to go straight on the strings like that. I want it to go at an angle like that, so that your pick doesn't get caught in the string, but it flows on top of the string. And you can listen for the sound. If you can hear this scraping noise, I don't know if you can hear that. That means you're doing it the right way. If you can hear this clacking noise, you're doing it wrong. If you're not angling your pick, you're creating lots of unnecessary tension, and it gets a lot harder to play fast. Let's see. Norway again, asking what is the best metal riff ever. Let's see. Not really sure. There's a lot of different opinions in that. I think, yeah, there's actually not no single riff that comes to mind. I used to have all these favorite riffs, but they just kind of disappeared. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an answer to that. Tran Anthony asking, what do you think of anchoring? Ooh, touchy subject. I remember my days hanging out on the Ultimate Guitar forums and watching people arguing about anchoring, and yeah, it was it was some ugly stuff. There's a lot of misunderstandings about anchoring, what it is, and what you should do. In case not all of you know what anchoring is, um, it's the principle of keeping some of your hand or whatever in contact with the guitar body. And most people refer to keeping your pinky or 2 or 3 fingers on the pick guard while you're playing. This is a completely natural thing that you want to do when you're picking up the guitar. It feels really natural because you're providing a reference point to your brain as to where your hand is in relation to these strings. If your brain knows that your pinky is here and the volume control is there and the string is there, it gets easier to place your strings, no, to place your pick on the right strings at the right time. But there are arguments against anchoring, with the most usual one being that it increases tension, that it can make you develop tendinitis. That means inflammation of the tendons in the arm and shoulder, which only happens if you tighten your muscles too hard while you're playing. But some people think that anchoring leads to that quicker because of the friction, because you're constantly kind of moving your hand on the strings and the guitar body while you're playing. But I guess you want to have my opinion about anchoring, and my opinion is that sometimes it's totally okay to do it. Sometimes you should actually do it, but sometimes it's an advantage to be able to play without anchoring, and it does lead to slightly lower friction and less tension while playing. So I remember I used to anchor a lot in the past, and it wasn't really that hard to stop doing it, but it takes a bit of dedication. But there is a common misunderstanding, and that is some people think that if you're not anchoring, your hand should be kind of floating about the guitar, and you should be playing like this, and nothing should be touching your guitar. And that is just as far from the truth as you can possibly get, because if nothing is touching the guitar, you're completely neglecting the point about palm muting, which is kind of a form of anchoring, or putting your palm on the strings and playing, which all metal guitarists use a lot. And the other thing is that you almost always want to be in contact with the strings in order to mute strings. If you're playing like if you're doing this kind of solo stuff, you really want to be muting your low strings with the palm of your picking hand. And some people consider that anchoring, but that is not anchoring. That is, there is no question that you have to be muting these strings. If you're not doing that, it's going to sound like shit, because you're going to get all this ringing from the other strings. So if I'm not playing with anchoring this on the strings, it will sound like this. And then I'll stop playing. You can hear all this noise from the other strings, and that's what happens when you're not muting your strings. So some form of anchoring is really really important. But if you want to put your pinky on the pickguard, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. So keep asking questions, guys. If you have any questions about guitar playing. Victor Corsi, nice job, man. Really like your vids. Hugs from Brazil. Well, thank you. It's always good to hear that people like my videos. And if you guys have any suggestions for future videos, let me know. Because it's hard to be creative all the time. It's so much hard to constantly come up with new stuff. And let's see, is there any more we can cover about the picking? Well, it's getting late. If you guys have any more questions, just ask them now. For all the guys that have just tuned in, there is a lot of delay between when you're asking stuff and when I'm responding. That's because there is a significant delay from when I'm doing stuff until you guys are seeing it. So apologize about that, but there's not really much I can do about that delay. And yeah, you guys that are signing out, let me know if you think the sound could be different. This is the first proper live stream I'm doing, and if the guitar is too loud or the vocal sound is too low or whatever, just let me know in the comments, and I'll fix it. Or if you think the video somehow isn't good enough or could be better, yeah, just let me know. And also, if you have any suggestions for future videos, I would love to hear that. It would be fun to try out some more live streaming. It's a lot more fun than just hanging around and yeah, creating these same videos all the time. It's a lot of fun. What's the word? Not talking, but you know, interacting with you guys. So yeah, we have 12 viewers right now. That's not bad. So yeah, is there anything more about picking? If anyone wonder how fast you have to be able to down pick. I of course have my opinions on that as well. Some people think that you have to be like James Hetfield in order to be a good metal guitarist, and I consider myself kind of a advanced intermediate player. I'm nothing like a guitar god or whatever, but I know my stuff on the guitar, and my highest speed of down picking is actually which is not really that quick, and that's because I really enjoy alternate picking. It's um, it's the technique that's going to, yeah, if you don't know how to alternate pick, it's the technique that's going to take your guitar playing onto the next level. And what it is just simply going down, up, down, up, down, up with your pick instead of just down, 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 down. And some people say that alternate picking is not as good sounding as down picking. But my response to that is simply make your alternate picking sound better, because it is possible to make alternate picking sound good when you're doing this kind of chunky riffs. Let's say we have a riff that goes like this. And that was with down picking. If I want to play that with alternate picking, you can hear that it sounds pretty much the same, and that's because I've been practicing how to just simply keep up the pressure with the alternate picking. Some people have a tendency when they're down picking that they're using a lot of force, just they're kind of really hitting the strings hard, and when they start alternate picking, they start being really light on strings, and that's gonna make them and so that's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to just use a bit more force with your alternate picking, and it's going to sound almost just as good as down picking. I can see some people think I should heighten my voice. Let's see. I have my microphone turned to maximum right now, so if I just reduce my guitar like this, and it should be a bit better, I think. You can just turn up your overall volume. Let's see. Greetings from Finland. Well, hello, Finland. Yeah, let's see. Why are all shredders using super thick picks? Well, that's an interesting one. There's of course a lot of debate and a lot of subjective opinions about which pick to use. Some of you might have noticed I'm using quite exclusively these Dunlop Ultex 1.14 picks. Let's see if the camera can focus on that. That would be cool. Yeah. And I think they're the perfect compromise between bendiness and stiffness. Because the reason a lot of shredders use thick picks is that when you're using a thin pick, your pick is bending when you're playing your string. And when the pick is bending, that means that you're kind of having to travel further with the pick in order to actually pick the string. And it also gives you less control on how hard you're playing the strings. I don't have any other picks right here to demonstrate with, but if you take like a 0.5 millimeter pick, which is extremely thin, almost like paper, and play as hard as you can, it's going to be kind of a natural compression. It's going to sound quite even no matter how hard you play it. But if you take like a 3 millimeter pick, it's going to it's going to pick the strings more. So yeah, a lot of shredders use picks that are like 2 and 3 millimeter. I have, trust me, I've tried every kind of pick that there is, except for those super expensive ones, and I always came back to these 1.14 millimeters. They just sound really good, and they feel really good, and they're they're stiff, but they're not 100% stiff, and they're really sharp. And what I think is the most important thing with a pick is that it's sharp. If you have a pick with a rounded edge, you're not going to get the same attack. But yeah, I would say that if you're comfortable with playing 0.7 millimeter picks, I used to use 0.73 millimeters a few years ago a lot, and those are good picks as well. It's all about personal preference. There's there's no perfect answer to which picks are the best. Uh, let's see. Yeah, Sam Blythe. So it don't bend, mate. Yeah. Um, let's see. I think yeah. Rock guitar fun. Rock guitar for fun. No way. Alternate is best. Just need to work on making notes sound the same. Yeah, that's just what I mean. Alternate picking is the best technique. Will Hartley, Metallica versus Megadeth. We're getting into the traditional discussions here. Well, I must say I'm not really that much of a fan of any of those bands, but I tend to like Metallica more. But I'm not a huge fan of any of those two. I kind of grew up with Slayer, and that's what stuck in my heart. Um, what about bone picks? I've never tried bone picks. Uh, but sure, it would be fun to try, but these picks are just perfect. If you haven't tried them, you should really try them and get the sharp variant. This is a sharp one. They also come in a round edge, which is kind of more like playing with the round side, and that's not good at all. But I buy these 70 piece packs from eBay, and they're reasonable. They're quite cheap, and that's yeah, that's my favorite pick. No question about it. Let me just see in the control room for my live stream. Let's see. It's not possible to see how many people have watched the stream. Well, whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna stay online for about 5 more minutes, I think. Then I have to go. Gotta get up early and be at school for 8 hours tomorrow. It's gonna be a long day. Um, so any other questions about picking or guitar playing in general? I will do my best to answer them. Is there anything more to say about these picks? Yeah, there is one more important thing about guitar picks, and that is, let me see. I don't have my super tool here. Don't know where I put it, but what I do to these picks is that after using them for quite a while, they get slippery, and I take some really coarse sandpaper and just kind of grind them down, and that makes it a lot easier to grip them again. You can also wash the the guitar picks simply with some dishwashing soap. It gets rid of the fat on top of the pick and makes it stick to your hand a lot better. And also, if you're struggling with holding the pick during live shows and stuff, just use some antibacterial soap on your hands because that dries them out. You can just use it on the fingertips, and it dries them out completely. And also, you can wash the picks in that kind of soap, and it will make it so much easier to hold your hand. No, your pick. Yeah, Trey Anthony. Let me see. You should do a collaboration with Neo Geo Fanatic. Yeah, I've been talking to him about it, and we're probably going to make a collaboration video soon. I hope it would be really fun. Decent live thing anyway, bro. How often do you do these? Yeah, oh yeah, decent live stream. This is actually my first live stream. I did a test yesterday. Um, so I don't know. It's with my schedule, it's kind of hard to pre-plan these live streams. But I'm going to yeah, it would be fun to get like a couple of days a week when I have these pre-planned streams. Um, because it's a lot of fun, and I get to talk to you guys in a yeah more direct way, I feel. And yeah, it would be fun to have some more live streams and possibly get some bigger audience on the streams as well. And yeah, we're nearing the end of this stream. And of course, if you guys have any questions you didn't ask me now, you can always send me a message. I try to read. Yeah, well, I managed to read all your messages and I answer most of them. Have you tried VPix? Yeah, I've tried some. I think so, some funny shaped picks, but I always come back to this standard shape picks and also jazz picks. Not for me. I like kind of big picks, but I don't really see the big thing with these super special shaped shark teeth picks and so on. They look cool, but I don't really think at least they don't suit me. But if they fit well for you, then more power to you. It's all about personal preference, as I said. So yeah, I want to thank you all for tuning into this stream. As I said, if you have any more questions, just send me a message and I'll try to answer them. And yeah, just make sure if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you later. I'll try to make some announcements for my next live streams, so you know when to jump in. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this broadcast open for a little while, and then I'm gonna take it down because I'm gonna make some proper guitar lessons about the topics we're covering here later. So yeah, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.